Welcome to the 3G Fitness Podcast,
where 3 generations of trainers come together to discuss all things fitness related.
Join us as we share insights, tips, and stories from our diverse experiences as we unravel the secrets of staying fit.
Welcome everybody to the 3G Podcast. 3 guys from 3 generations. I'm Coach Michael.
I'm Coach Cisco.
And I'm Coach Kael.
And today, we're going to talk about bench press.
Ooh.
Okay.
For the chesticles.
Yeah.
For the chat.
A lot of a lot of people go into the gym thinking, I'm going to bench press and I'm just going to get under there and start lifting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's
Real quick, razor.
There are so many things. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's so many things when you're bench pressing that you got to look out for.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the things you notice when a person that doesn't really know how to bench press that he does wrong? You had talked to me about it. You had actually showed me.
Yeah. I mean, I showed you, but let's dig a little bit deeper because I like how you opened up with that.
Yeah.
I do believe the bench press, and it's very much when someone walked into the gym, is probably the most recognized equipment.
It definitely is.
So this exercise has been around
For men, at least.
Yes. Even women look at it, they can recognize it. That's why I said recognized.
recognized.
It's the most recognized. Everyone knows flat bench, barbell, get under there, boom, and push up or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of the most recognized ones. So that's why it's and yes, a lot of the times more male gym goers when they first step into the gym for the first time probably want to try that one. So yeah, we've had this debate before too. I think when I first stepped into a gym, that was actually the first thing I wanted to do besides bicep curls, because you grow up, you know that movement, you've seen it, and it looks strong too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I remember the first time I benched, I probably did not know what I was doing. I think I just got under the bar and just.
Well, I think all of us just get under the bar.
Yeah, 100%.
We just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's so many variables that go with bench press.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To do it safely.
Yeah. And I mean, so to me, one of the most things that I think I did this wrong is I don't even think I was bringing the bar fully down to even my chest level. I think I was just lifting it up and just bringing it down wherever my arms felt comfortable. And with that, for the visual learners, I probably was like benching like this with my elbows flared out or anything like that.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Flaring, they call it winging.
Winging.
It's flaring out. It's so much pressure on your shoulders.
Correct.
So when you're benching, it's always going to be ear, taking it in. So you're using your pecs. Your
Roughly
shoulders,
maybe
your
45
legs.
degrees in, you would say?
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of people, they don't realize that, and it's hard to do. So I always recommend what they call a slingshot, which straps around and it automatically pushes you in.
So a slingshot is a piece of equipment that wraps around, that you slide your elbows in and you wrap around your back and it forces your elbows to be tight.
It stays right here.
Or it stays right here at the front.
You go down and it goes down and it takes you in.
You're right.
And then helps you up.
Like a slingshot, because it kind of slings the thing back up. Yeah.
What are the 2 strongest points in the bench press?
The 2 strongest points?
2 strongest areas.
Wait, hold on. I want to go back to that real quick. So you recommend a new person to use a slingshot?
Oh, absolutely.
Off the bat?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Because if using a slingshot after, let's say, a month, and then you take it off, you're automatically going to feel the feel that you have going down.
Yeah. I guess that does make sense. But what? I've never seen a slingshot ever. Yeah.
Should have asked me.
I got one.
I mean, I know about it.
I rarely
but
use
it's
it,
like
to be
exactly like
honest.
all my years of training, I've never recommended someone to use a slingshot.
It's a very simple.
But I can see how it would be beneficial for sure.
But the 2 strongest points going back are on the bench are what?
Take off.
No.
Strongest points?
2 points. Strongest points on your body.
When you push up?
Because
Muscle-wise?
you actually look like a bridge.
Okay, you're talking about your feet and your upper back?
You're talking about your feet and your glutes.
No, you're talking about
your
your
subscaps.
glute and your right.
Yeah. Oh.
Because on a bridge, the 2 strongest points are what? At the end.
Okay, now I get what you're saying. Okay, position. When you're talking about positioning yourself on a bench. Yeah. So your positioning on a bench is pretty much your strongest points. He's right. Is going to be your shoulder blades and your glutes. Those are going to be your strongest points in positioning when you're positioning yourself.
And people will say you should have your back flat on the bench. When you do that, you're taking away your legs. You're taking that away from you. Because when you're flat, you're not able to push up when your back is flat.
Okay.
So if you bridge, what does that, you kick your legs back, and what does that enable you to do?
It enables you to use your legs that are planted on the floor to drive up with power, and actually helps you out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because on the bench, you use everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Not just your upper.
But arching your back also just puts your shoulders in a safer position to press.
There it is. So that's one thing, because that's the myth. I remember when I first started at the gym, everyone's all like, "Oh, don't arch your back, flat." But then I've noticed I'm all like, when I changed my technique was when I would squeeze my shoulder blades onto the bench,
back and down.
then I would actually walk my body closer to my upper body and create a small arch. I'm not that flexible.
Yeah.
And as long as my butt stayed down, oh my goodness, I literally feel amazing when I bench. I don't feel any shoulder strain like I used to in the past either.
Right. There's a lot of people that feel lots of shoulder impingement if they do the benching improperly. So what we tell people is you want to retract and depress your shoulder blade, and that puts it in a safer position to press. But a lot of people, when you tell them to retract and depress their shoulder blade, they don't really know what you're talking about. No. So another cue to tell them is just to arch your back, which kind of puts you in that position.
Because
already.
I have in my joints, my shoulders, cartilage is really low. And so I did research, and I was checking and finding out, I was like, well, why am I using my shoulders too much? Okay. And I noticed that my elbows were out.
Yeah.
So I was told, get a slingshot, put it on, and watch the motion.
So you're a proponent of the slingshot or anything like that. And it's funny, I never used the slingshot for form. I use the slingshot for overload. Like that's when I would use
like
slingshot.
how we would use like knee sleeves or like the belt.
That's so. But I get how you're talking about using it with technique or anything like that. Usually with technique is bar path. And I always tell a lot of people is when you want to bring the barbell down, just make it go across the nipples. I was like,
about nipple line.
Nipple line, yeah. I would say across the nipple line. So that way you know to bring it right here, because the most common thing is people just bring it down and they bring it like between their chin and right here.
Neck/collarbone area.
Right here in this area. So I always tell a lot of people, it's like, all right, just grab the barbell and just bring it right across the nipple line.
Yeah.
And that way they can get a good idea of where to go. And then
generally, if you do that, that already brings your elbows in the proper position.
And it does that too.
When you're going up, you're at an angle pushing up.
Yeah.
Slightly,
Stuff. And then you want to keep your wrist straight. You see a lot of people bend.
You do see a lot of people that when they bench, if you catch it, sometimes they'll bench like with their wrist this way instead of neutral position. And that puts a lot of the wear and tear on the wrist.
In competition, that's an illegal lift.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, when I first started lifting, I used to bench like that.
Yeah.
With your wrist back?
I think it's called the suicide grip.
No. I bench with suicide grip. But
thumbless.
Yeah.
Thumbless.
So
a
suicide grip is like, I bench like that still. Yeah. But your wrist is neutral. Well, Mike's talking about when your wrist is this way.
But even then, when I was younger, for some reason, I just felt like I had a better mind to muscle connection. Now, obviously, when you start really loading that thing, your wrist can only handle so much. So yeah, I do start straightening up.
Straps to keep it straight.
Yeah, that's another thing.
But if it's like lighter weight, I tend to just push with it.
Yes, and then another thing is this is an imaginary thing when you're lifting, is that you're imagining yourself bending the bar.
Okay.
So you're squeezing it really tight and you're trying to bend it.
Yeah.
And that will give you a lot of control going down.
And it's funny, I actually agree with that. I actually tell people that, because not just that, so if you're grabbing the bar, if you squeeze it, what you see my elbows just do, elbows just kind of comes in naturally. So you're already
and it kind of engages your lats a little bit.
Yes, and so it's just one of those where there's so many cues to the bench.
There's so many.
That's why it's not the most easiest thing. It's like even just setting up. I always tell people, like when they get on there, I always tell them, just get your eyes beneath the bar.
I tell them that for sure.
Yeah, because sometimes they go way too far back,
and then when you unrack, they're like so close to the
that
hooks.
they're hitting the hooks or anything like that. So I always tell them, like, get your eyes underneath the bar. So like, all right, now your eyes are underneath the bar. Now when you unrack, bring it around your chest level. Now you have more space between the rack and yourself, so you're not constantly hitting the barbell on the way up with the rack or anything like that. Because I always say placement is always, I get that so much. I don't know why, if people just feel safe to scoot all the way up or anything like that. And then foot placement. I'm a big proponent on foot placement. I was telling one of my clients, we went heavy, and I noticed as we're heavy, I had to help him out. The man just kicked his foot out, because it was too heavy.
Yeah.
And then he lost it even more. And I was like, no,
You got to use your leg drive.
you got to use your leg drive, but not just that. It helps you stay stabilized. The
sure.
minute your foot
sure.
comes off the floor or you're kicking out, you lose stabilization. You lose stabilization, you're losing power instantly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just like,
Now, there are specific exercises where you want to lift your legs up if you want to engage more core, but
Yes.
that's more advanced stuff.
yeah. There's
Like
other
beginner
ones.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just keep your feet down.
And like I said, it's one of those where we're just talking about, your basic bench press, which requires your feet in proper position for leg drive.
Yeah.
Your
So
glutes,
where would you tell them to place their feet?
So I would bring your feet in closer to you, so and find out a place where it's just, you almost want to feel uncomfortable when you're benching because you're super tight. So as you're laying down, walk your feet closer to maybe your glutes where you could still grip the floor, and then with your arch, your shoulder blades, and your glutes, you're like almost like a pretzel
core,
core and everything.
Your legs are pushing up.
Yeah,
You're
what I
pushing
tell-
down, you're pushing down into the ground, and that's going to give you the reverse push up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What I tell my clients is you want to create that full body tension.
Yes.
And
That's
always,
perfect. That's a perfect way to say it. Is you want to create a full body tension.
always get a spotter. That's good.
Oh, well, yeah. Get a spotter if you're doing something you can't do.
If you have a question on, can I get this or can I not? If you just say
when in doubt, get a spotter.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say,
Yeah, because I was gonna say, if you just have the bar by itself, you're like, hey, can I get a spotter?
Always get
We
a
need
spotter when
yeah.
you even have a question mark.
So, yes.
That's valid.
Well, that's valid. So when in doubt or when in question, right?
Right.
So yeah, definitely.
'Cause I was at the gym the other day, and this person put on a lot of weight, a lot.
Yeah.
And I was looking, and I was telling myself, I said, man, that's a lot of weight. And he had no spotter. So he just came off the rack and just went all the way down.
Did he go back up?
He didn't get back up.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the safety arms,
Okay. Yeah.
he would have never.
When in doubt, either have the safeties out or ask a spotter.
Yeah,
But I
and
want to
you-
talk about placement of your hands. What's the hand placement like? What would you tell people?
Well, you have two lines on your.
Well, every barbell's different.
Every
Yeah.
barbell.
Every barbell's
Normally
different. You can't rely on a barbell with
Normally
just two lines.
Normally you have two lines.
Yeah.
You got to match on each side, but
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You do. If you don't, they say the distance is pretty much. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. I can't give the exact number on how wide. But if you're going to use your chest, you're going to be like maybe 3 or 4 inches, maybe 5 inches
oh, what?
out from here
Okay.
out. So you're right about.
Interesting.
So you're getting extremely technical with
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna
I literally
Yeah, what
would
do you
always because I'm just telling you, like, if you're just gonna get started with it, I always like to say my thumbs will be right here with my shoulder. That's just what I tell a lot of people. You want your thumbs to kind of like, so as you're laying down,
Yeah.
you're reaching out for the bar. You want your thumbs to like create a line to your shoulder just to gauge it out. And then from there, let's try the first set and see how you feel.
Yeah,
if you feel like you felt it too much on your triceps and not on
Then
your
that's
chest,
too close.
then that's too close. Let's
Yeah.
go wider. And if you go too wide and you're feeling it too much on the shoulder,
Shoulders, then
then
go a
let's go
little bit
narrow.
closer.
So it's a little bit of a give or take. But I just always tell people to start off, I'm like, just make sure when you reach out, like if you can open out your thumb and your thumb can create a line towards the shoulder, let's start right there. Then hook your grip, and then let's start right there and let's see how that feels. Because every time, you always want to go with what the person feels.
For sure. Absolutely. That's crazy. We all have different approaches on
How do you do the hand placement?
I tell my people wherever your forearms are nice and stacked, right? So on the way down, you want your wrist and your elbows to be nice and straight. So if you have a grip to where the angle looks like this, then that's too close.
Yes, I agree.
If this is too far, it's like this. You want it to be nice and straight.
Got it.
So whatever hand position that creates that straight line for your forearms. That's what I say.
And like I said, to me, that's the beauty of it. Hand placement, there really isn't a wrong one because, like I said, you've seen so many advanced lifters that go super wide, you know, and some that go super narrow. That's why you got to find out what the individual likes first. And that's why I always start off with, all right, just make sure wherever you're, open up your palms out like this, to shoulder. All right. And just see how that feels. Pretty much it's like the stance of a push-up. Wherever you feel like comfortable as a push-up.
Yes. But generally speaking, though, you need to keep your joints stacked.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why. And that's because at that point, you got to figure out, what if they are shoulder dominant? Maybe they could go wider and things like that.
Sure. So exactly. Or what if they're like tricep dominant?
Yeah,
for sure.
And then go even narrow and anything like that. So it's the hand placement is literally that's a viewer's choice. Whichever you feel comfortable, where you're not straining your joints or anything like that too. But I feel like there's so many different ways on the hand placement. I just always tell people, I'm all like, if you can just find a way, because even when you said foot placement, I meet some people that they keep their feet flat too.
And some are like what you said on the toes.
And some are their toes and some are wide. So it's regardless, whatever's going to help you get your leg drive to push and not lose your grip, whatever's going to help you keep your butt on the bench, whatever's going to help you keep those shoulder blades contracted is like, and then just making sure your bar path is from chest to up. Thing is, as long as you hit those points, you should be good on your bench. And then just whatever variable it is, if it's wider, narrow, that's all on your anatomy.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Mr. Bench Press King?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Good form and technique is so important when you're benching. Yeah. Actually, when you're really doing anything.
That's true. 100%.
Technique form is just so instrumental.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah, exactly. See? Boom. Mic drop. And that's why, like I said, I'm getting excited because Mike's really hitting the bench. He's almost catching up to me.
He is, yeah. I had to spot him this one day, and he went for 8 for what was the weight on it?
About 195.
Some light 195. Okay. And he's like, I think I'm gonna do 8.
You only did 8?
Wow. He didn't even need me. He didn't need me
all the way down.
I do.
All the way down.
All the way down.
Yeah.
All the way down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm figured out.
That's it?
And that was just plain.
Oh, that was just plain. Okay.
But yeah, man, that was a quick little summary on how to do a barbell bench press.
So Coach Mike helped us out, gave us a good insight. Old school Mike.
Yes, sir.
Final words on the bench, Mike.
It's a great exercise, but always know your limitations.
Correct.
And good form and technique is important.
That's it.
Good. So you guys leave a comment on how much you're benching on there, and if you guys can outbench Mike, and then we'll see. We'll put it out there. We'll probably put him on clip and get him benching.
No, I always
or any useful cues that you might think of that we haven't mentioned. So
I always get 50-pound head start. So
because of his age of 78. All right, you guys. I'm Coach Cisco.
I'm Coach Michael.
And I'm Coach Kael.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Boom.